Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Jake the Fate, and in this video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to turn this Kramer Baretta special into the Kramer 5150. Alright, so now this is going to be like the third video I make on this guitar. The first one was just a quick review and demo on this guitar. And then the second one was just how to route out for a Floyd Rose. Because, you know, I wanted to do that. So now all I have to do is just paint this sucker. And I'm going to take it to the workbench. I'm going to show you guys step by step of how I'm going to do this. So the materials I'm going to be using for this project is, again, the Rust-Oleum Painter's Touch. I absolutely love this paint. Even though they're in cans, but these things work awesome. So I'm going to be using this red apple gloss, the regular white gloss, and then regular black. And as my finish, I'm going to be going with matte clear because I love how matte feels and looks. So these are the colors that I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be using this wood filler, plastic wood, DAP, from DAP. I don't think I've ever used this one. I think the other one that I used was a little bit more like fast acting or something like that. But I just got it because I really didn't need that much. So I got the little one. And I'm going to be using some 800 grit wet and dry sandpaper to scuff up the paint. Because I'm not going to sand down to like the bare wood. I'm just going to scuff up the paint that's already on top of it. You know, just so it's easier. And the tape, again, I'm going to use these two. These things worked awesome when I did the black and white and the black and yellow one. But then the thin ones, somebody on my comment section told me to use the tape for the, like, it's not a tape, but it's like a vinyl thing for cars. They sell it at AutoZone, which I forgot to pick it up, but I have used that in the past, and I know that does work. I'm gonna have to go either pick that up tomorrow or try to find another thinner tape that's a little bit thinner than this somewhere, because I still have time, you know, because I have to first do the first coat. Obviously, the most important thing here is this EVH guitar set decal, because it brings the 5150 and the 2 stars, and they sell these at some guitar centers. I couldn't find any here in New York, but when I was in North Carolina, they were selling them, and in Virginia, they were like every guitar center that I've been out there, they had this. So if you guys are around any guitar center in North Carolina and Virginia, I'm 100% sure they'll have it. But I had to order this online. I think on Amazon I got this one. So, but yeah, you're going to definitely need this. I decided to get a CTS pot, 500K, just because I know the one that's on it's pretty good, but I'd rather get something that's a little bit better, that will last me a little longer, because that's going to just, you know, wear out over time. So I might as well upgrade it now. For the humbucker here, I decided to go with the JB humbucker, the Seymour Duncan JB. I was either debating the 59 or the JB, because, you know, if you look online, it was either one of those two that he had on the Kramer 5150. And, you know, I decided just to go with this one because I don't think I've ever tried this one, to be honest. I've tried a bunch of Seymour Duncans, but I don't think I actually really tried this one. So I am going to put this one on this guitar. So it'll be fun and interesting to see what this sounds like. And for strings, I know this is going to be extremely unnecessary. But, you know, I saw this and I was like, whoa, 10 to 52s. That's the gauge that I love. So plus it's EVH, you know, if you're gonna go EVH, go all the way. So I am gonna put those bad boys when I string it up. I don't think it's gonna really make a difference, but you know what, it has EVH on the packaging, why not, right? I'm gonna get started on the sanding and filling up the holes and everything that I need to fix before I start getting into the spray paint booth. All I'm gonna really do is just grab some 800 grit sandpaper and basically just scuff up the guitar, you know, because I'm not going to sand this whole thing down to the bare bone. You know, it's just really not that necessary. So the reason why you would want to do this is so the paint can actually stick to the guitar, because if you do it straight on this, you know, you're going to be able to like rub it off, scratch it off. So, you know, just 800 or 600 grit, you know, just scuff it up until you see like the gloss is all gone from the guitar. So that's what I'm gonna do first. Alright, so I scuffed up the guitar. There's still a couple of spots that I need to grab and do, like some right here, there. There's still a few spots here that I need to still go over with. But yeah. What I'm gonna do now is grab some wood filler and I'm gonna patch up these holes here. Because I'm gonna have this pickup mounted directly. I'll fix up this thing I told you guys about in my previous video. I'm gonna fix this up. I'm gonna patch up these holes. I'm gonna patch up these holes back here too, because I want to have this thing exposed. So, you know, fairly simple. 1, 2, 3. I don't know how this is going to turn out because I've never used this kind of wood filler. It's really runny. The other one I used was a lot better because, like, when I patched up these holes, I would literally just use a little bit and just put it in there. Easy, 1, 2, 3. But this thing kind of sucks. But should be able to, you know, come out right. So what I'm going to do here is let this dry. And once it turns hard, I'm just going to start shaving it down until like it like lines up, and then I can just, you know, take off the top and take off what I need to take off, and then just put everything back on and then just start painting. But the thing that sucks is that this thing, it says it dries up in 2 hours. I gotta wait 2 fucking hours. And it's what, 2 in the morning right now? So I wanted to paint this thing by tonight, but I'm gonna have to wait, unfortunately. And that's the thing, I'm gonna repeat it again, is that you need to be patient for these kind of stuff. Like, be real patient, especially when it comes to the painting, because, and I know you guys know if you guys have painted something before, because I've gone through it. I painted something and wanted to rush it because I wanted to just have it done already and like start playing, but just wait, just be patient, you know, wait a day, 2 days, 3 days, 4, because especially when it comes to painting, you know, you need to let it sit and let it dry at least 24, I would say at least wait 2 days, and then, you know, go for the stripes and stuff like that. So, you know, this thing's gonna be quick, but then when I go to, you know, to paint it, I need to wait, and I've gone through that in the past, even with the EVH guitars, that I wanted to just have it rushed, and I'm like, ugh, it comes out so ugly. Not ugly, but, you know, it doesn't come out as how I wanted it to come out. But yeah, we're just gonna let this thing sit here and let it dry for a couple hours, and then come back probably in the morning for me, but whatever. All right, guys, so here's what I have so far. It's a couple of like shiny spots because kind of cleans it up with some water, but this is completely sealed off, completely leveled, and that right there, I don't know if you guys can see it, but that's completely, it's not perfect, but better than what it was, right? So all I really did was 800 grit sandpaper, had this little block here, and I was just, you know, level sanding it until it was like flat, and then just going like straight across, straight down, until I got it, you know, perfect. Not perfect, but, you know, decent looking. So now all that's left to do is just paint this thing, give it the first coats of white, because we're gonna do white, then we're gonna put on the tape, and then paint it red. And after that, oh yeah, I scuffed up the headstock yesterday, so this is ready to paint. All right, so first coat of white gloss going in. All right, so we got this whole thing painted white, looking pretty good. The headstock too. I'm not too worried about the holes there because it is going to be covered. I am going to put the plate back on this thing, the truss rod cover. So doesn't really matter. So I'm gonna let this dry up for 24 hours, come back tomorrow, and then tape it up, get started on the red. If you guys are interested in how I did this little rig here, all I did was just, I welded this, what do you call it? The neck plate. Like, I cut it in half just because some guitars are bigger and some are smaller. Like this one's a smaller one. So I did it in half, and I welded onto this pipe, onto this angle here. And yeah, just put it onto the ground. And I welded this, what do you call this thing? The holder thing for the guitar, for the wall mounting thing. Put that there. Yeah, that's basically what I did. Nothing really fancy. I call it the Jake Paint Station 1000. Yeah. Wondering about that back there. So you guys can see it's a little purple there. Well, the plate's gonna be covering it, but I do know that where the pipe runs, it might be purple. That might be something I'm gonna have to live with. I might just leave it like that, you know. Keep it as like that little, what this was, you know, purple. It was purple, so I'll have that one little stripe there. White, ready to go. Oh yeah, so this back here, which I already knew was gonna happen. This, I could probably get away with it by painting it, you know, when I go over with the red. Because I thought it was gonna be like thicker, but I wish I'd gone a little heavier on the white. But like I said, this isn't gonna be covering it. That's why I cut the other plate in half, because I already knew that one was a little too big. So I had to cut it in half just in case, right? So, you know, turned out pretty good. So if you guys are gonna do that little thing I made, you know, go a little heavy, not heavy, like directly spray on it. You know, try to like, you know, try to cover it, because I did see it and I was like, I don't want to go too heavy on it and mess it up. But you know what? It came out pretty good. Pretty good, pretty good. All that's left now to do, oh, right. So I ended up ordering these tapes on Amazon last night. So you are going to need some measurements, and that's something that I didn't do in my other videos, which honestly I'd even take to account. But you are going to need a tape that's 3/4 of an inch. So this one's going to be 3/4, 1/16 of an inch, 1/8 of an inch, 1/4 of an inch, and 1/2 an inch. So this one came in a package altogether, and then I had to get this one separate, but it's fairly cheap, so hopefully this one doesn't screw me like the other fucking tapes have. But counting on it, because these are the exact measurements that I need for this. So I ended up printing these out from online. I don't know where I saw it from. I don't know who did it, but whoever did came in clutch, because this thing is going to help me even more than just like trying to figure it out. If you guys can find these online, it'll be a lot more useful. Trying to like guess where things go and not really knowing like the exact like size tape, because that's what I used to do. I'm not gonna lie. I was just like putting random size tape so it looks sort of similar, but you know, having this and then, you know, ordering the right size tape, you know, it could come out a lot better. If you guys are gonna do this like using the, I'm pretty sure you guys can find this Kramer 5150 template or painting, or I don't know, you know, just like obviously search it up. Pretty sure this is gonna show up. So, you know, it's got all the colors and the measurements. I couldn't print out the whole thing that said down here, but it actually said all this. So I'm gonna, you know, go with this diagram so I can actually, you know, get everything where it needs to be. So hopefully you guys can follow along, because I'm gonna do first measurements by measurements. What I did so far, basically 3 lines, 4 lines with the 1/2 inch tape. So the reason why, again, you know, I go a little bit out so I can actually cut when I need to cut off. But the good thing about this guitar is that there's going to be a same 1/2 inch running across this entire outside of the guitar here. So you don't have to worry about like it turning around like how with the other ones are. So, you know, this is what I got so far. It's like basically a line coming across, an X over here, and then this line right here. Now I'm just gonna put it around the entire guitar right here. The 1/2 inch, everything is done on the front, at least. I went around the entire guitar, just placing it. If you guys can, you know, always just place it down. I have sweaty ass hands, so I think I was touching it, and then like right on that spot, it was like kind of lifting, but tape it real good down. So we got this done. I'm gonna get started on the back. I'm gonna do the 1/2 inch on the back so we can get rid of the 1/2 inch, and then we'll go on to the next one, which will probably be the 1/4 inch. So we got the 1/2 inch out the way. Now I'm gonna get started on, so on the front, I can see here that there's 3/4 inch, but that's the black stripes. So, but I'm not gonna do that today, obviously, because I have to do the red first. So, well, these are technically be the white stripes because when we paint it, everything else is gonna be red. But so I guess now what we're gonna do, so I'm gonna do 1/4, which is this one right here. It's basically this blue one, because there's 2 blue ones, but this one's like a light blue, this one's a darker blue, so I'm gonna do that one first. Okay, so with the what else, you know, the 1/4 inch tape right here. So basically that one runs from here to down here, and then over here, and then one over there. So I'm thinking there's only 3 of those. Right. Okay. So in the back, if you guys go to use these diagrams, it's gonna be a little bit confusing because the 1/4 is pink on this one, and on this one is blue, so try not to get confused. But it's only 3 measurements in the back: 1/4, a 1/2, and then the black. The back, we do 1/4, and we should be done in the back. I got the back done. I did the 1/4, obviously, which is basically like the last. There's only like 3 sizes. Here's the 1/2 inch, the 1/4 inch, and then there's a 3/4 inch, which is this blue one that runs across here. But there's only one white stripe that goes across back here, and then there's 2 more, but those are the black ones, which obviously is not going to be done with tape. You're gonna have to, like, I'll show you guys how to do that. This is all done in the back. The back's completely finished. Now we're left with the 1/8 inch. Got all of the 1/8 inch stripes, tape, whatever you want to call it, down. There's only one 1/8 stripe apparently here, and that runs like right across the Floyd. And then that's it, you know? Get started on the headstock and then we get ready to paint this thing. All right, so now we're up to the headstock. Wait, oh. Now this one's gonna be pretty straightforward. So I'll start with the 1/2 inch right there. That'll sit right there. Right, what the fig? Oh, it's going up, so it's gonna go like right there. Bam. Pretty straightforward. Done. 1/8 of an inch. Bam. I'm gonna do it like that, screw it. Like that. And that'll live right there. Easy, easy, right? I'm hoping. That's it, right? Yeah. Boom, 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 boom. Grab the 1/4 of an inch towards the top of this peg. This way. That. Done, done, done. And now we got this big boy coming down. Ooh, I don't know how they did that, but it looks like it curves. It doesn't have to be perfect, guys, honestly. It doesn't have to be perfect. Yeah, you know what? That's how I'll keep it. So what I'm gonna do here is just cut off all this with the X-Acto knife. Just cut it all off because the outside of it is gonna be red. And I'm gonna tape the stinger back here and paint this all red. And after that, put the Kramer logo there. Well, actually, I don't know if I'm gonna do one. I might get one because I do have a Cricut machine, so I'll probably put that one there. If not, just keep it white, doesn't matter. All right, first coat of red going in. All right, so here it is. It's been a little bit more than 24 hours because when I started doing this little project, I wasn't working for a few days because of the weather and stuff, so I work outdoors. But I had to return today, and that's why I look a little dirty. But since I'm going to be painting a little bit, I was like, you know what? I'll stay in my dirty clothes. So, there it is. Not too shabby. Now, like I said, there was some spots here. Like this over here. The tape. There was like too many layers here that I think that it just like, for some reason, like seeped under or I didn't press it enough, but that's fine. And there was like a smudge there right here that I messed up on because I touched it by mistake trying to press the tape down. You know what? Whatever, it's fine. But this is going to be covered. I'm going to actually put that black stripe that comes up here running across over that just to cover that. So the way I'm going to be doing this is I'm going to use the 3/4 of an inch tape, and I do know that some of these do go around the whole guitar, but I'm actually going to stop it at the white line just so it can look a little bit cleaner. So yeah, I'm just going to put this here, and what I'm going to do is with the 1/2 inch tape, put it over on this side. Why? Because this tape covers a little bit better, you know, with the line. Because this one, I don't know if you guys can see it back here. You see how like it kind of like wasn't clean. But yeah, I'm gonna use this one and then put it on this side to get that same measurements of the 3/4 of an inch. And then obviously take this off. Boom, boom, like that. And then to cover, obviously you have to cover up the whole entire guitar. I had this wrapping that actually came with this guitar when I unboxed it. And I want you to just wrap it around there so I don't get any. I'm gonna cover the whole thing once I'm finishing up with everything. I'm gonna cut some holes in it, whatever, and then just like try to cover everything as much as I can. And then just paint it like that, which is gonna be kind of hard, especially doing it in the back. But I'm gonna try my best here. Hopefully it works. All right, so I ended up just taping off the whole thing because I was like, I don't want any mistakes. So instead of using that thing, I just taped off. I did. Oh yeah, so here I was about to go to the spray booth and just paint it. Then I realized as I was looking at it, I was like, wait, it's gonna look like a T because this tape ran that way. So you would have had this red and white coming across this whole thing. So I had to, with the X-Acto knife, just cut it off, splice another little one there, and just. Oh, and one thing I forgot to mention is, you're gonna have that texture thing. In order for you guys to bring that down a little bit, is to use 600 grit, wet and dry sandpaper. Just to bring it down a little bit, and then when you go to clear coat it, if you're gonna, do clear, you clear it, you level sand it, clear, level sand it until it all evens out, and then you have no high spots. Honestly, me, I like how that feels, that texture. So I'm just gonna keep mine like that and just paint this black and throw my matte finish, and that's it. And also for the headstock, you just need that one stripe. I did the same thing with the 3/4 of an inch, and then put the half inch, next to it so I can get that size, and then just tape off the rest. First coat, black, going in. Here it is, and we ran into some horrible mistakes here. It started to orange peel, and I got horrible splatter on this stripe and on this stripe here. Yeah. And then the orange peel, basically almost like all the white spots. The back looks pretty decent back here. It's just the white spots, man, it screwed me. But you know what he says, there's no mistakes, just happy little accidents. This kind of looks like crackle, like crackle paint there. So my wife said, I was like, yeah, you know what, you're right, I'm gonna just keep it. I was gonna give it a second coat so I can, keep it real black, but then I was like, liking the idea, and then when I peeled it and I saw that, I was like, oh god. And I kind of wish I did, but thank God I didn't, because then it would have went like even more than this. So I just literally did one coat and just, that's it. But I guess from afar it looks pretty good. Like what I always say in all my other ones, I'm like, oh yeah, from afar it looks pretty good. But you know what? I like it, and I'm gonna keep it. And here's the headstock. Front looks pretty good. But then the back, right there. I see that? That tape screwed me. Alright, so here I have the guitar completely. I gave it 3 coats of matte clear. And so far it doesn't look that bad, for what it is. I kept this purple. So every single time I open it up, it reminds me, this was a purple Kramer Baretta special. So, and aside from the crackle, it doesn't look too bad, to be honest. I wish I kind of did give it another coat to make it a little darker. But you know what? It makes it unique to my thing. But if you guys are going to do this, oh, that's something I wanted to say. The reason why this happened is because here in New York, it was like 50 degrees the other day. And when I went to paint this, it dropped below 40. So that's why it did that. It reacted to the temperature change. So when I did the first white and red, everything reacted good because, the temperature was nice. And then when I went to do this, the temperature dropped. And it just, unfortunately, there's some crackle. So if you guys want to do some bootleg crackle, I guess that's what you guys have to do, is do it like below 40. And then that'll happen. But I mean, aside from that, and aside from this right here, and just little minor stuff. It's really not that big of a serious deal, but it is what it is, right? Oh, and so this right here, what I basically did was like this little pickup mounting system that I've seen online, and I forgot which company sells it, but I do this to all my direct mounted guitars because when you, let's say you put it direct mounted, like straight into the wood, over time, I mean, this one I'm probably not gonna swap, but like usually I'm always swapping pickups. What it does, it'll basically just like strip that hole right there. So eventually over time, it'll just come right out. So I decided just to do those. And how I do that, if you guys want to know, what I'll basically do is like I have a bunch of these because I, make pickups and I pull them apart and I like, whatever. So I'll cut this in half. I'll cut this off right here on both sides and I'll just put it direct there. But this measurement wasn't as right, so I'll just cut it in half and put a piece of wood down there and, be able to like slide it back and forth wherever I need to go. And then I'll just direct mount the pickup in there. So, and how this works, what I do is like, I'll have to just like, grind the threads up here basically. So when I go to screw this in, it'll screw all the way in, and once it reaches here, it'll be able to just like slide up and down. And then I'll put the spring like in it. It'll basically act like a pickup ring. So it'll be able to like I'll be able to adjust it because it'll be screwed onto this. Yeah, so that's what I basically do when I have guitars like this. This right here, I kind of said this in when I routed this out that I was gonna put this little sticky thing. I bought this from, I don't remember, I think it was Michael's or some craft store that I went with my wife, and yeah, I just picked it up, had a bunch, and I just put it on this. So like I said earlier, the pickup that I'm going to use is the JB Humbucker, and all that's left to do is just install the pickup, put the electronics, and put the final assembly of this decal on the body and on the neck. I actually found this knob, like, just I just have a bunch of knobs here, and I had these here, and I was like, oh dude, this is like perfect, because it looks exactly like it. So I have no idea where I got this from, to be honest, because I just have a bunch of stuff here. So I guess I got lucky with this, but I was gonna use a regular knob. I was going through and I found it, and I was like, oh sweet. So yeah, all that's left to do now is just assemble it. I'm gonna put the decal first and then show you guys how that looks. Now that's looking much like it. Well, not really, but starting to, and I'm getting excited already just looking at it. So now I'm just gonna put everything together, and I think we should be 110% done with this. All right, so here it is, the Kramer 5150. I'm not really calling it a replica because a replica would be like, you know, trying to replicate it, you know, because his guitar was really worn in. I wasn't even trying to do like a factory thing because it's not gonna come out like that, you know what I'm saying? I'm really proud of this thing, man. Even though it didn't come out as I wanted it to come out, you know, I got some spots here. I'm really proud of it just because, you know, it was a fun thing to do. I already had this in mind as soon as I bought the guitar, that I was gonna do this modification to it. Plus, you know, this guitar is extremely iconic, you know, aside from the Frankie, but the 5150, you know, is one of his guitars that people see and they already know what it is. You know, like I said, this guitar was not gonna come out, you know, spec to spec. I already knew that I might run into like some painting problems because I've had that happen in the past. Like with the spots here. There's a couple spots here that like kind of dinged up on the table. But other than that, man, like, you know, I'm really proud of this thing. I wish I did go a little heavier on the black stripes, but it looks okay, man. Like, you know, like every guitar that you guys build, every guitar that anybody builds, it's unique to their own. Like, you know, you'll know it's yours because, you know, you have your little weird stuff on it. Plus, Eddie Van Halen himself, his guitars were never perfect. Like his stripes, on this stripe right here, I think they put like double tape or something. It was like a little bit off. You know, I was just trying to go for it in the sense of like trying to get it. You know, hopefully it did help you guys trying to replicate yours, you know, with the measurements I gave you guys and the paint. Even though like the paint is not exact paint, you know, he had like that sunset red or something like that you can actually get. I think Duplicolors makes them, but that's like a auto paint, and you can get that at like a AutoZone or any like car shop. The headstock here, I know that the Kramer logo is like way too big. I kind of realized that as soon as I already printed it out, and I was like, man, like screw it, you know. If you guys can make it smaller, if you guys can actually order the decal or make it, you know, a little bit smaller, it'll fit perfect. But aside from that, it looks pretty good for me. You know, and I ended up putting the screw eyes on this. And I know that I've had that problem in the past where I couldn't find the right one. I've had a lot of people tell me that, but just went with it. You know, and it plays awesome, man, you know. And honestly, I think this might be the guitar that I'm actually going to start playing a lot more, because with the black and white one that I made and the black and yellow one, you know, they were junk guitars, you know. The necks, they weren't that good. It was just, I was just trying to do it so you guys can see it and give ideas of how to do it. But with this one, man, Kramer, these necks, just like the Jackson guitars, the JS32 series, those necks are awesome, man. Like this guitar, the neck is just freaking amazing. The body's freaking good. So, you know, you have a good foundation. And let's say you don't want to put a Floyd Rose on this and you keep the regular stock bridge, you just paint it, man, the guitar is going to play awesome. You put the JB on this or whatever pickup you want to put. Honestly, the pickup that came with it was really good. So, you know, as long as you know you have the painting, you'll be able to be like, man, like I want to play some Van Halen, because, you know, it inspires you. You know, you have a guitar, and, you know, a guitar like this, you know, it's extremely iconic. Yeah, I said that, but, you know, a guitar like this, it inspires anybody. You know, it could be any generation. You know, like I said in my previous videos, anybody from like the late 70s to now. You know, I had a kid yesterday ask me how, you know, the measurements, you know, before I even, you know, made this video. He saw it on my Instagram. I was realizing it. I'm like, whoa, this kid's like, you know, he's a kid, you know? So it inspires, you know, a lot of people, you know, different generations to want to play Van Halen music, you know, just because you see the guitar and you're like, whoa, that's sick. And you don't have to spend hundreds of dollars in trying to buy the actual guitar. Instead, you could just make it yourself, you know, and that's even more special, you know, it's even more special. And the funny thing is that, like, I went to Guitar Center a few weeks ago and I wanted to, you know, I was looking at what they had and I saw the black and white EVH, like, official guitar for like $600. It was used, so it was like, you know, they were selling it for cheap. And I was like walking back and forth and I'm like, should I get it? Should I get it? It's pretty, you know, it was in a pretty good deal. And, you know, I'm like, I'm already working on this one. And I went to like try to get the pickup and, you know, other stuff. You know, I actually got the shirt because I was like, I'm going to wear it for this video. But I'm like, yeah, it's too cheesy. Yeah, so like I saw the guitar and I'm like, ugh. So I'm walking back and forth. And like a while later, the song Panama came up. And I was like, oh my God, that's Eddie telling me to get it. Like, I was like, he's like telling me, and I'm like, oh God. And I'm like frustrated because I'm like, I already made mine, you know, like, and that's even more special. But I was like, should I get it or should I, you know? And then I got the Phase 90 and I got like some other Van Halen stuff, like picks and stuff. But I was like, you know what? Like, as long as I get something, you know, but I'll never forget that day. And I got the shirt too. So I was like, I'll never forget that day. It's all in the spirit of Van Halen. If you guys watch this video to make your own, you know, obviously do things a little bit different than I did. You know, try to work in good conditions where the weather is not going up and down. Take your time. You know, that's all I'm gonna say. Take your time and really get into the spirit of it, because you know you really do. Like, I mean, me and all the guitars that I've ever painted, you know, the Van Halen ones, I've gotten into the spirit of, like, you know, doing it and just watching his interviews and watching how he plays, and just, you know, it's just awesome. You know, you really feel like, man, like I can't wait till this thing's done. So, yeah, like awesome, dude. I'm so proud of this thing, and the fact that I got to put a Floyd Rose on this thing, man, like it made it way more better. I got a lot of comments about the Floyd Rose when I did the video of, you know, routing this thing out for this. And a lot of people were saying, why would I get the special? Why would I get this? You know, like I should do this instead of that. And I'm like, I only did the Floyd Rose special because I already knew that, you know, this guitar, I was trying to do everything on a budget. You know, I was like trying to get this, you know, the guitar itself is not an expensive guitar. I'm not going to put a $300 Floyd on this thing, or, you know, anything more expensive. So I figured, you know, I might as well put a special on it just in case, you know, because I could upgrade this, you know, down the road now. But I put this on for now. Like I've said in my videos in the past, that the specials are the worst. Like, they are. But, you know, since it's new, it's going to last me maybe a year, hopefully. But, you know, down the road, I am going to, you know, swap this out for a better Floyd. But other than that, you know, it stayed in tune. It stayed, everything was like perfect. So I'm not really worried about that right now in this moment. But that's something that I was told, you know, to, you know, change the Floyd. And plus, it's a special. The guitar's a special, and it's a special guitar, you know. So, you know, it's awesome. It's awesome that I got to do this. Yeah, so I hope you guys found this video helpful and, you know, useful in any way, shape, or form. You know, in terms of, you know, the measurements, in terms of like what to look for and stuff like that. Even though, like, you know, my paint job wasn't as good as I wanted it to come out, but hopefully you guys get a good reference of how to make your own. Like, comment, subscribe for more Van Halen, you know, guitar painting videos, because I am going to be doing a lot. You know, there's so many Van Halen guitars that I want to do. Like I've said in the past, there's just so many. There's so many guitars. So, you know, like the See You Later, the Rasta guitar. He's got the Shark that I said I wanted to do. So there's so many that I'm planning on doing, and I will do it down the road. But if you guys are interested in all that kind of stuff, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, because that's all I do on this channel. And with that, I'll catch you guys on the next one.